Warning, this podcast contains jealousy. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Gotham, Season 3, Episode 11, Beware the Green-Eyed Monster. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Nikki and John.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going.
It's good.
Is it good?
Actually, was very much into this episode.
Yeah, I was surprised, but I'm still cautious, very cautious, because this episode was great, and it left like some great cliffhangers for us to go into the mid-season. And if you got to watch the trailer for next episode as well, it left you on a bigger kind of cliffhanger for the next episode. And all that, really excited for. But Gotham's track record of building up really exciting things and then just flat out failing to meet those marks is what has me concerned. Because they've built this whole thing as the Court of Owls, and instead of the Court of Owls, we've had them very minor in the background, and this has been the Mad Hatter's and Alice's story, you know, more than anything. And even before the Court of Owls, this was the escapees of Indian Hill, right? And though Alice was part of that, she's the only part of that remained.
Pretty much. They rounded that up in like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it's very, very disappointing. But this episode, I really liked the whole jealousy theme. Like, it's been building for a while, and we've known about it, but we didn't realize that, at least I didn't realize that it was the theme that was overarching until they gave us an episode called Beware the Green-Eyed Monster, and I'm like, okay, well, that's jealousy for sure. And then we notice, you know, Penguin and Nygma have been dealing with jealousy, you know, for a while. You have Lee and Gordon have been dealing with jealousy for a very long time. And to an extent, not anywhere near the same regard, we have Bruce and Selena, where Bruce is kind of jealous of Selena's lifestyle and what she stands for and everything. And then when she won't admit that they're in a relationship, it's not really giving a jealous emotion. It's not evoking that emotion out of him. But it's definitely like what Bruce has been feeling towards her, I think, all along.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So
this was a good way of kind of bringing it all to a head, I guess. I mean, I think that's why this episode is so exciting. Because they've been building and building to all these like big blow-ups this whole season, so that's why I was like, ooh, let me get my popcorn. These girls are gonna fight.
Yeah, and I mean the Nygma Penguin kind of relationship, it's been kind of like a big heated debate with DC fans right now that are watching the show. That, you know, oh, you can't have Penguin and Nygma in a relationship because it's never been a thing, and we're already well aware that this show does whatever it wants and it doesn't conform to, you know, the DC canon. I've accepted that. I was probably one of the biggest people to hold on to that fact through season 1. And I don't think it was until midway through last season that I let it go.
Yeah.
You know, and you just kind of have to accept that this is a different universe than the comics. This is one of the alternate DC universes, Earth. What did we call this? I don't even remember. Nikki named it. I don't even remember.
76.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something like that.
It was a stupid number.
Yeah. And once you accept that and you can live and know that there's all these multiverses in the DC universe, you get through it. And that's what helped me through it. But this whole thing with the Nygma and the way it panned out here, I think it kind of brought some semi-balance to the way people have been feeling towards it. Where it's a very one-sided relationship, you know, and it never actually happened at the same time. So, I mean, I guess it kind of qualms both sides. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Nygma's not interested. So, you know, it's not going to happen, especially now. that he found out that he killed Isabella, and I almost called him Isabella, and he was going to correct me because Nygma would have just shown up.
He would have popped in.
Isabella.
Yeah, he would have popped in on the podcast and yelled at you.
Yeah. So, obviously, I don't think that's ever going to be a problem for these purists ever again. I don't think it's coming up.
Nope. I don't think there's any way to course correct this relationship in a positive light. And I can't say that Nygma didn't feel the same way towards Penguin. I don't know that for sure. We never had the chance to explore it, but he certainly does not feel that way anymore, if he ever did.
True, yeah.
So, you basically, we had Barbara coming in and telling Nygma what she found out, and kind of almost made it like, oh no, there was no way he would never do that, and she almost made it into like a game. And Nygma did it. He tested her theory out, and he found everything she said to be true.
Yep.
He made it seem like he wanted to be in a relationship with Penguin, and then he's like, "Oh no, I meant business partners. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, and I thought that was actually pretty clever of him, because he had me fooled for a sec. But I'm wondering now, like, what are they going to do now that he's the mayor? Because now Butch and Tabitha are involved too, and now they want to like take him down. But like, I mean, he wants to destroy him, right? Like that's his thing. He wants him to.
He does not want him to die. He wants to destroy his reputation.
And like take everything he cares about. Like, what exactly does he care about anymore? Like, his mother's gone.
He cares about power.
Yeah, because I guess it wouldn't be people; it would just be his stature.
Yeah.
At this point.
And this kind of would be a really good direction to take the Penguin character into, because we know from most of the comic lore, and especially the very first Batman movie, you go and look, and Penguin was a boy who was abandoned and was raised in the sewers with penguins, and stuff like that. And we haven't seen any of that. Like, this is just a nickname that he got because he hobbled funny and everything like that. And for him to now maybe take that name and embrace it and actually do this and have to go into like seclusion and retreat back, if his reputation does get destroyed, it's going to bring in another really different incarnation of the Penguin that I'd be excited for. Don't want to get my hopes up because that's probably not what's going to happen, but I would love to see Penguin go into a whole nother direction like that, where he literally loses everything and has to come back.
Yeah.
And build like an underground kingpin, kind of thing, and come back and take over.
The underground of the underground?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean,
he'll be king of the sewer rats.
If you think about it, he's kind of taken Falcone's position when it comes to crime boss,
At this point, yeah.
So
forwardly, Falcone, he's still doing a lot of the shit in the background, like you saw this episode.
Yeah, he
still
his own
has
stuff.
Power.
Oh, he definitely still has power, but he's got his own stuff going. He's not so much concerned with being the crime lord, of the underworld and all that. And you have Barbara who wants to join forces with Nygma and bring Nygma into the group with Tabitha and Butch, which is just insane because he just cut her hand off.
Stupid.
Which apparently she got it sewed back on. So she
lost a lot of motor function.
Yeah, she's not gonna have matching, accessories with Butch's arm anytime soon, anyway.
No.
But
thank God.
Barbara wants to be the new crime lord.
She wouldn't last a day, not even 10 seconds. No.
You don't think they're gonna try to make her into like Harley Quinn or something like that?
Sure, but Harley Quinn was never a freaking crime lord.
No.
And I don't think she ever could be. She's not that type of character. She doesn't really give a shit about power like that.
I mean, she kind of stepped her role up in the Arkham games when Joker wasn't around. So
yeah, she was in control of his gang.
Yeah.
That's a gang, not a whole underworld.
Oh, I know, but with the help of Nygma, right? She said it. Nygma's brain, their brawn, Tabitha and Butch, and then Barbara's Barbara.
No.
You know,
if that's her whole reasoning, because she is who she is, she's not gonna get anywhere far at all.
That is damn well good enough reason for me. If I was Nygma and I knew everything Barbara was involved in, I'd been like, sold. Let's do it.
You're definitely not Nygma in any way, shape, or form.
Excuse me?
I mean, I want to see it.
Did you just call me stupid?
No.
What, John? Don't look at me in that tone of voice. What were you saying, John? You want to see?
Oh, I was just saying, like, regardless of like whether she's qualified for it, I just want her to do it.
Oh yeah.
And I want it to happen at least for a little while. I think it'll be a lot more fun.
Her character just really excites me the more and more that it's on screen. And if I ever, like, if I took myself from 3 years ago and watched this podcast right now and heard myself say that, I would slap myself so hard. Like, like I would never in a million years thought that I would hear this.
I think we would all consecutively take turns beating the shit out of you, even yourself.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
I think she just wants to
Cleo
beat me
would
up.
be sitting right down there, and she'd be like, yeah, I'm for it. Let's do it.
Yeah. I forgot
all
Cleo
of us would be like,
was on this show early on.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
Yeah,
Once upon a time.
When she potentially liked the show, and now she can't stand it.
Nope.
She still watches, though, right?
No. I fill her in on things that are happening, but she hasn't really watched.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that'll be cool because Penguin's been on top for quite some time now, I think, or near the top, let's just say. So, like, as the pendulum swings with these crime bosses, as it always does, even in the real world, I'd like to see where that goes for her because, honestly, that just means she's going to fall again, and that's going to be fun.
But we also know that, like Nikki said, the Falcone's not completely out of the picture here. Right? We saw a lot of his power this episode, especially when it comes to forcing Gordon in and out of places to because Gordon finds out Mario is infected with the virus. He found out when he went to go see Jarvis in jail. Found out that when Mario was helping them, right? When Lee and I don't even remember her name anymore. Mulan.
Vicky Vale?
Vicky Vale.
Well, Valerie Vale, sorry.
Valerie. When Valerie and Barbara were held hostage in, what was it, Lee's place? Right? And Mario went in to get the gun. That's when he got infected. Like, Jarvis infected him way back then. When he knocked Gordon out, with the gas. And, he also infected Mario. So Mario's been infected this whole time and is just starting to show symptoms now where Barnes was infected in half of that amount of time and started showing symbols, earlier. But Barnes had a lot more rage.
He'd been angry way before he got infected, so it didn't take much.
So it was interesting, though, watching the way that Gordon was tricking him into like revealing details about it, and it's like you keep seeing it, the Hatter, he's just like like he couldn't stop, it was a big game to him, everything was a riddle, and he just had to keep talking even though he didn't want to talk. He had to.
He has to speak in rhyme.
Yeah. So it was very, very clever of Jim. I like that. But we see here when Gordon goes to confront Lee and was like, look, I still love you, this and that, Mario's infected, blah, blah, this whole thing. And he's like, this is what he wanted the whole time. Right? Because he had already beaten the blood detection, which, we kind of knew was coming.
Yeah.
But, this whole time, and then you see Falcone, he's got his men still there, like, there's still personal detail, bodyguards, all this stuff. I think he's on even more high alert now because of the Court of Owls threat that, was given last week. But, I mean, we find out why the Court of Owls was interested in Mario now.
Yep.
They knew he was infected.
Yeah. They know everything. And speaking of, to go back for a sec, they also were pretty judgy towards the Penguin, so maybe they'll be instrumental in taking him down somehow. Just a thought.
Could be. I think though that he's right where they want him. I'm almost positive that they had a lot to do with getting him voted in.
Probably. So. That's true. But I don't know. Just a thought.
When when he interrupts the wedding, right? Like right beforehand while she's getting ready and all that. And then he's like, "Oh, get the men ready." And then you start seeing the wedding ceremony go through, and you see Jim getting dragged off, and then you see him start beating the guards up. I go, "Here we go. We're gonna have this. Is there any reason why these two shouldn't be met?" And I'm expecting Jim to come barging through the thing. Wait, hold up, yeah. And they didn't do that, and I was actually flabbergasted. This is the first time I think I've seen a wedding go through on TV that the main character didn't want to happen actually happened, and he couldn't do anything about it. I think it's the first time in the history of television that I've personally seen that. Not saying it's the first time it's ever happened, but it's the first time I've ever seen it.
Yeah, so, I'm glad they kind of took the high road there, because that would have been so cheesy.
Oh yeah, I was expecting it. I'm the cheese is just extra strong this episode, and they went a whole different route with it, and I was so happy, so happy.
And it kind of just made you feel the desperation that he felt at that point, I think, because he was just fighting because he's just I got to do something, right? But, we knew it was too late, and, on some level, he probably did too. So,
yeah,
he was a man without options at that point.
Yep. But then news comes in that Lucius has run some extra tests, and he found, there was some drug that was in Mario's system that was able to falsify the test results, and they go after him. And while the rest of the cops go looking for him, Gordon grows a huge pair of balls and goes to see Falcone straight on. And Falcone's like, "Look, I'll go get my men. My men will take care of it. Don't worry about it. I don't trust anybody because you, Gordon, you're going to kill him. I'm going to send my men." And then Gordon turns around and shoots his two men. And
right in the leg.
Yeah, in the leg. And then Falcone is like, "Oh, okay, so you must be sane now, so I'm gonna tell you right where my son is." What? That is the stupidest thing you could have ever done, Falcone.
I mean, at that point, I guess I really didn't have a choice.
He could have went himself. It's his son.
Yeah.
It's his son. I would never, in a million years, especially after uttering the words, "If you go, Jim, you're only going to kill him." Would Falcone, knowing that, would not have given them that information, would have went himself? Or I would have went myself, I should say.
I don't know. I like to think that Falcone really likes the chair he's sitting in and really didn't want to go anywhere.
I don't think that's... I think part of it, though, is the Court of Owls has him worried.
Oh, that's probably everything about it, but I just feel like, he would have been like, "Go, go, guys," and sent off his men, and Lee would be dead. Whereas, now that Gordon got there, he was in a rush, he was hurried, he saved her. 2 seconds off from being...
Right, but now here's the thing. Lee didn't see that. Right?
No, I know she didn't.
She turned around and just sees him fall on the ground. She doesn't see the knife in his hand, which went flying over the balcony and is in the water. Right? So she thinks that Jim just came running in and shot him in cold blood. Right? And this is the way the episode ends, mind you. And we're just like, "Ooh, this is going to be bad."
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
I'm more worried that he shot him knowing that his blood is infected with the virus, and Lee was in such close proximity.
Okay, I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm still not that worried.
And it looked to me like she didn't get much, if any, on her. But as we've seen with Barnes, it literally takes one drop.
Like one drop into an orifice that like will absorb any other liquid.
We don't know that for sure.
She got a little speckle on her cheek.
Well, you know, it could enter soft tissue areas, so eye, nose, mouth, you know, open cut she might have. You know, it's like
she's been sleeping around, so
she's a hoa.
Yeah, we don't know what kind of
no,
open
but
sore she is.
Yeah, you know, like it's just like any like really any other bloodborne disease. Like it's dangerous. You have to really be careful. Like I wouldn't touch him without gloves.
No,
at least, and
no.
like a mask. There's no way in hell.
They swapped a lot of kisses this episode.
A lot of mouth stuff happening.
I mean, as far as we know, it's blood infected, but we've also seen what happened when Alice and her landlord kissed. That spread the infection.
It's true.
She's the source, though. She's like
Yeah.
super concentrated.
It's possible.
She is the virus, not just her
It's
blood at
probably
this point.
in her saliva, you know.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that is a possibility, but it's possible that it is a saliva, you know, in any kind of bodily fluid transfer. It's possible. We
Could be.
don't know for
There's
sure.
snow in you, Lee.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, I mean,
They did say they were working on a cure. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. And to be fair, you know, Mario might not actually be dead.
Oh, I don't think he is.
You know, I mean, I know he shot him twice in the chest, but still.
It's
Could have missed vital organs.
Because if Mario's dead, Jim's a dead man.
Yeah.
There's no way that Falcone is going to let that slide. No way.
No, not at all.
No.
So, like, he can argue all day that he was about to kill Lee, and Falcone's just not going to care. Not at all.
No.
No, because the only thing that matters to him is his son. Damn his fucking wife. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, I mean, he knew that Mario being infected is a big deal, though. You know, at that point, like he knew that's like this is not good. This is what the court was talking about.
Yeah,
and,
it
like,
was kind of that realization where he was just like, "Oh my god," and when Gordon asked him, he's like, "Oh no, that's not what I'm worried about." He's like, "Now I know why. You know, they wanted him dead." And then Gordon's like, "Oh, so that's because he was infected." And he's like, "Yep." And who? I can't tell you that information. So, you know, he's clearly worried, because if Falcone wasn't worried, he would have just told Jim. Just straight up.
Right. But at this point, it's like, you know, would Falcone have even been able to trust him? Because what's his son going to do? Inherit his empire and be a raging lunatic? Like, that's not going to fly.
Mm-mm.
As much as his son is important to him and important to his legacy, I think on some level he has to know, like, this wasn't going to work out unless he was cured somehow. And if he hurt Lee and whatever else, like, she's a member of the police force. There's no saving him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Nope.
On some level, I think he might have some kind of sympathy.
Well, like the way Gordon described it too was like, look, even if it's proven that he has the virus in him, it's known by the GCPD that this is a virus that makes people go crazy. So he could have gotten off if he did kill Lee.
Sure.
Right? Would have been able to get off easily if they cured him. But like Gordon said, the guilt that he would have to live with for what he did is enough to destroy him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, exactly.
You know, there's that. But I mean, we did have an actual death. I think anyway. This episode, we saw Talon die. Right? He's the assassin for the Court of Owls.
Right? Yeah.
Stabbed in the neck real good by his own sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
all because Selena's mommy distracted him just for a little bit. Just enough for Alfred
Where the hell did she come from?
Apparently she's been watching.
Yeah.
Because Selena felt watched. Maybe she wants to has some reason to stop the Court of Owls. Maybe that's why she left in the first place.
Yeah.
More of why now?
Because
her daughter got close.
Yeah, Selena's elbow deep in this shit with the Court of Owls now because of Bruce. So
It's pretty, I don't know. But seriously, that whole thing was brutal.
Now, I don't
always
recall
enjoy a good Alfred
Selena's
fight scene.
mother at all in any of the cartoon or cartoon comics, anything like that. I don't remember Selena's mother ever being mentioned. So
mentioned, yes, but never seen.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like mentioned that she was alive or anything like that, you know. So this is all kind of new territory. So it's complete speculation at this point what she was involved with. Court of Owls seems like a very good guess. Could be something to do with the Whisper Gang, which in turn has something to do with the Court of Owls, but it seemed like she was acting on her own accord. But that's not to say that she didn't get information from the Whisper Gang, because keep in mind, the Court of Owls has been after Bruce for a bit now.
Yeah.
And Selena's been hanging out with Bruce for a bit now, and that didn't interest Selena's mother. It's not until they met the Whisper Gang, and 2 of their members die, and a bunch of other members get kidnapped and held upside down and hung and all this stuff that, you know, Selena's mom decides to show up. So I think she's involved with the Whisper Gang in some way, shape, or form, without being an official member, you know?
The other thought I had was she's way into that owl statue thing that they found.
Yeah, what the hell was that? It's like some weird crystal owl thing?
Yeah, I have no idea. Apparently it's very important.
Eh.
Like, I probably would have just threw the thing on the ground as hard as I could.
That's it? Chuck.
I would have been so mad after, you know, going through all these lenses to find this thing. But who knows? It may be a power source or something. You know, like
I'm
you see
hoping
weird,
it has
like,
some sort of magical properties.
Spooky magic.
Yeah.
I don't know, magic is kind of a weird thing in Batman. You don't really see it too often.
Exactly. That's why they need a little bit of it.
You see some of it with like Ra's al Ghul. You know, with that kind of stuff, and that's really about it.
Yeah, I mean, like,
everything
probably
else
the more
can
recent
be explained away, you know.
In the more recent series, like especially in the comics, like Batman, like openly has items to protect against magic. Like he's at the point where he's like, I'm not going to just deny it. Like, I know it's real because he's worked with the Justice League before, and fucking half of them are magic. Yeah. So he's like got runes and stuff inscribed and things to like protect him, and like, you know, so it does eventually enter the equation for Batman, but I don't know. It's probably not going to be in Gotham for ever.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the world with all these people, but like you look at the Batman universe itself, and exclusively the Batman universe, it's never really been a thing. Like, they've always tried to ground it in real world kind of science. Like, look at Mr. Freeze, you know, like at the lengths that even the movies went to explain that it was grounded in the real world kind of thing.
Yeah,
Poison Ivy, you know, they did a whole thing about, you know, how the botanist side of like how all these plants and the mixtures of these things. Yeah, granted, it's super crazy science fiction, but it's more plausible than magic, you know? So, I don't know. To me, Batman and magic, not very good bedfellows.
Bat magic.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, because you even had like Man-Bat and everything. That's all explained with science, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Although, I do want to shout out Baby Batcat said in chat the little kiss that Selena gave Bruce was adorable. And it was.
Don't fuck up, basically.
Don't let go.
Does this mean we are in a relationship?
Shut up.
I was like, did you really just say that, Bruce?
I also thought the scene with Victor was interesting.
Yeah, he showed up.
Yeah, he out of nowhere.
As he usually does.
Yeah.
And apparently he can't tell time that well.
No. When the big hand
is on the 9, the little one's on the 3.
I don't know if he was joking or...
No, I don't think so.
Or if that was real.
I think he's just an idiot.
Okay.
He's a hired gun. He's not paid for his brains.
It was pretty funny, honestly, where he's like,
It was.
"Give me the mag back." No. I asked.
It was an interesting little scene. It was nice to see.
Love it.
A little humor.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Grieville in chat says, was anyone else thinking that Mario was going to kill Lee anytime he put his hands on her face?
Yes.
100%.
Every time.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
Every time.
He also says Barbara's acting more like Catwoman than Selena is. I don't quite see it, but
no, I don't. And to be fair,
No.
Selena is like what, 15?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for her to be like, all sex appeal woman thing when she's like a young girl at this point. So
it still feels really awkward to us watching Ivy do it when she's kind of the age to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
So for Selena to start doing that at this moment would be even more awkward.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So, Baby Batcat Fanatic wants to know, how do you think Selena will react to her mother being back?
The same way she kind of reacted when Ivy came back. She's going to be very, very angry, but her mom's not going to be doing stupid things. Her mom's going to be trying to be motherly, so she's going to be a little bit more accepting as time passes. And then her and Bruce are going to have this tension.
See,
I don't know, because a lot of Catwoman or Selena walking out.
Yeah, I mean, I think for one thing, I don't know if it was true or not, but like I thought when I was looking at her face and she was like reacting to her mother, I kind of saw like this almost like, I really want to tell you about yourself, but I'm not gonna because we have to leave. Yeah. But I'm gonna do it.
Oh, there's definitely something to be said because that was the last we saw of them. Like, they left all of that for when this gets picked up again. Right?
Yeah.
And this was the mid-season finale, by the way. Right? So we don't come back until January now with the show. So we basically have at least a month off. We do not even have a return date yet. So as far as we know, it may be the end of January. We don't even know.
Which usually typically was these last couple of seasons. It was pretty far into January.
Yeah, I think it was mid-January.
A couple weeks at least. So,
but John, I know for a fact Nikki did, but did you happen to see the preview for next week?
I didn't because I watched it online, so they didn't have it.
Yeah, I watched on Hulu too, but then Dom mentioned something. I was like, well, I better go to YouTube and I better watch this.
There's no synopsis for next week. We do not have a synopsis. We do not have an episode title, or not next week, next episode, because we don't know when it's coming back.
Right.
So I think John's pulling it up on YouTube, so I'm gonna wait and just wait for that face. I'm not even gonna say anything.
It would be episode 12, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
He saw the thumbnail.
Yeah, he saw the thumbnail.
That's all you need to see. Jerome is coming back, right? We are getting the Joker, the so-called Joker, Jerome, back next episode.
I mean, they don't show you much but him. So
Yeah.
you don't know what to expect other than his crazy laugh and his smile. So
yeah.
But
it seems like in the way the clip is portrayed that it's all through video format. It's being projected. We don't know if he's actually going to be back physically, or if this is going to be something that was pre-recorded before he died, kind of thing, and is being played out, and someone's doing it in his name, and kind of like the way Jigsaw worked within the Saw universe and kind of stuff where, it's his kind of legacy that's going on, but there's other people doing it.
Either way,
I just watching that, I'm not sure that was new footage, because that was him in the police outfit, like when he took over the GCPD.
Some of it was, yeah.
So it might be exactly what Dom was saying, that was pre-recorded and someone's just playing it back to stir up some people and like cause a little bit of negative influence in Gotham because, why Gotham needs a little bit more dirt. Why not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, yeah, but we also know that Doctor Strange and Fish are up to something.
Yeah.
And they had Jerome in Indian Hill.
Yep.
So,
and we heard the laugh. In the finale for season 2, we heard Jerome's laugh.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, this is just kind of wild, crazy speculation kind of thing. Thinking what it's going to be is it's going to be Jerome, but they're not going to know it's Jerome, and it's going to be Jerome pretending to be Jerome. So they think it's a copycat, and then they find out that it's not Jerome, only for him to like reveal that he was the one that set up fake Jerome. To kind of throw everything into chaos, because that's what the Joker does. Joker causes chaos.
And he's just actually the Joker now.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be
fantastic.
Perfect.
You know what I'm getting at like that? Like he's setting up somebody to be him and having them be like the one running this.
Yeah, but then it's really...
He's really the one pulling their strings in the first place.
Right, yeah.
So I think that's what's going to happen with that.
Okay.
But who knows?
I mean, it's a big turnaround, twisty kind of deal going on, but I mean, it is the Joker. I just could never expect anything predictable out of him.
And he typically plays the long game, longer than any other villain in Batman.
Oh, yeah. Even longer than the Riddler. Way longer than the Riddler. He is much more maniacal than the Riddler ever will be. The Riddler's all about the puzzles and, this and that, and they may go on for a while. And as you can see in the Batman Arkham franchise, right, you see that whole game, like the Riddler puzzles and everything he does. That's classic Joker right there. Riddler right there. Like, don't think that that's just something that was made up for the games. That's the way he's been, like, everywhere before that. So even then, you see the Joker had the long game way, way, way beat in those games. So
yeah, I mean, he'll go underground for like years, and Batman won't hear a thing out of him. Mm-hmm. And then 3 years later, he pops up. It's like, killed your whole family. Sorry, like
all this shit you've been involved with for the last 3 years. Yeah, I was behind it all. Now here I am. He's just like, wait, what? So I'm expecting good things from Jerome. That's really all I have to say about that. I cannot wait any longer. Like, I try not to get excited. I try not to, because this show has a habit of letting me down. But it also has a lot of good redeeming qualities at the same time.
Oh, I know. I'm just...
All we need is Jerome to be a permanent staple of the show. Can you imagine if Jerome was in the show as much as the Penguin?
I wouldn't. No, that's too much.
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, it is. It is too much. It'd be like oversaturation. It's like putting too much salt on your fries. It's no, you can't do that.
No such thing.
Yes, there is. It's called fries with your salt.
No such thing.
Yes.
No.
Well, I do kind of agree, because at least, like, the Joker is best used when he's used sparingly. Like when he's like, just a little glimpse, hi, just did something, you don't know what it is. Hi, did another thing, you don't know what that means. Did something else, are they linked?
An air of mystery with him, and that's the allure to the Joker.
Like, especially in the recent comic series when he just, like, actually pulled off his own fucking face and wears it like a mask now. So, he's a bit more unhinged than usual. So, like, it... I agree with you. I think that is probably the best way they can use him. It's just little subtle things building up to this one gigantic crazy you can't believe what just happened.
Actually, I think that's the reason why I'm not a fan of the Mad Hatter. Because I always kind of got the same kind of vibe from him. That, he was, sticking his fingers in things, but you didn't really see it all the time. You knew he was doing stuff. We saw a lot of him, and it was too much.
Yeah, and I see a lot of you, and it's too much for me. Where can the people find too much of you?
On Twitter, at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24. And if you go onto my Instagram, which you can probably find somewhere, I don't know, I was the Joker at one point. No. I was an incarnate of him.
I'm following you on Instagram right now. John, where can the people find you?
You can find me at No More on Twitter.
Also, too much of John. You can get very little of
now
me.
I'm sad.
You can get very little of me on Twitter at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM, where I post almost absolutely nothing and I'm really boring and you will not have too much of me.
That's true. So don't bother.
No, it's not worth it.
Visit me and John. Me and John.
You can also find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next 2 months. Till next time.
Yeah, seriously. Bye for a while.
Yeah. It's okay. You were seeing too much of us anyways.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
It's too much static.